Hi, welcome. Today I want to talk about cryptocurrencies. Where in the current market cycle are we, most probably, and what are the best and worst cryptocurrencies to own right now, at least in my opinion. So I've been investing since 2017, so I have around 8 years experience and I'm following the Warren Buffett value investing method. So I will try to not only look at the chart, but also talk about the fundamental, like real value behind the cryptocurrencies. But first, let's look at the chart of Bitcoin to see where are we in the current cycle. Because as you probably know, Bitcoin and other currencies are heavily correlated. So if the people are optimistic and buying Bitcoin, the other cryptocurrencies might follow. And if we see a crash on Bitcoin, that might lead to a crash in prices of different cryptocurrencies too. So in here, coming back to like the first big big price appreciation on Bitcoin in 2017, we can see that the price rose 2000 from 700 to 20,000. But after that, it crashed 85%. The next cycle we can say is in 2019, the price rose nearly 400%, and then it went down 70%. So it went up and down to similar levels. After that, in 2020, another big rally. This time Bitcoin rose 1,600% from around 3,000 to 65,000. And after that, the price dropped 75%. So it looks very, very similar to the previous terms. And currently, we see that the price rose 700% from around 20,000 to more than 100. Currently, we are sitting at around 120,000. So if we compare those cycles to the cycles before, we can see that currently we are after a significant increase in price. So we are not currently at the place where we would be in order to buy Bitcoin. This is more of a place where we are thinking about maybe selling the position. Although, look, I'm not saying that the Bitcoin will not grow. It's very difficult to predict the short term. But if you want to make these amazing returns that can be done with crypto, those returns of 700%, 1,600%, 400%, or 2,000%, you need to buy them when they are low. So you buy after a crash. As we can see, the crash 75% here, 70% here, 80% here, and currently we are not at the crash. So this might be very fundamental knowledge to some of you, but I'm recording this as a kind of warning to new investors because they tend to forget about the most fundamental rule in investing and trade, that is buy low and sell high. So currently, if we look at the typical market cycle, people are very optimistic, enthusiastic about the Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies. So that might be an argument why we are nearing the end of a bull market and soon the prices might go down. Of course, the situation on Bitcoin and Ether and other cryptocurrencies currently is a little bit different than in the past because now we have a lot of funds that are buying and investing into those cryptocurrencies. So there is more institutions, big financial institutions and ETFs, funds that invest in it, and that may lead to lower volatility. So we might not see a 80 or 70% drop in price in the future because the money that is in funds tends to be a little bit less volatile. So people are less likely to withdraw the money or their money or panic sell when the money is in the fund. So if we look at the price of Bitcoin and what percentage of the assets are currently in profit, you can see that 97% of supply is in profit. So 97% of all of the bought cryptocurrencies appreciated in value. So right now there is a big optimism and greed on the market because everybody is very optimistic. Everybody right now is making money on Bitcoin, which is quite easy to understand because the price is going higher and higher. And for some, this might be people basically share emotions on the stock market. So if 90%, 97% of crypto of Bitcoin is in profit, those holders feel very optimistic, and that will transfer to other participants of the market. There's also FOMO, so fear of missing out. Everybody is seeing the huge gains made on the crypto market and they don't want to miss out. So they feel the same optimism, the same greed as the rest, and they want to buy in and get in. But this might be a bad time to get in, as we would prefer to buy when the price is low. And sadly, one of the cryptocurrencies that we will be looking today is a cryptocurrency that is very, very popular, and that is XRP. XRP, this cryptocurrency is after a huge increase in price. So in under a year, we grew 600%. This is in 250 days. So as we can see, 600% in less than 1 year. This is a huge increase in price. And sadly, because of that, if we look on Facebook, on many of the traders groups and etc., a lot of the people are very optimistic about XRP, and this is because they look at the price increase and think that maybe the price will continue its growth. But in reality, probably from now on, we won't be able to see another 600% increase. The price will probably go much lower or crash. So after we see a huge increase in price, the risk connected to this investment is huge, major, and a lot of people who don't know what they are doing, they are very optimistic about this cryptocurrency. Well, in my opinion at least, this is probably one of the most dangerous cryptocurrency to buy right now because of the huge hype, optimism. This is basically the hottest crypto there is, at least in my research when I looked at some posts or groups on Facebook where we can find a so-called dumb money. So people who are not professional investors and professional traders, they don't know what the hell is going on, and they tend to stick to the hot picks that are currently popular. So sadly, if we look on this chart, in here the blue line, the green line represents the amount of wallets that own XRP. So as we can see, after the huge spike in price, the amount of wallets increased a lot. So in here we can see the huge price increase, and from that point, the amount of addresses that hold XRP started to grow rapidly. So people are optimistic because of something that happened in the past. But look, to make money, we need to buy here, buy low, and sell here, sell on the top. So this is not a good time to start buying, but this green line indicates that more and more people are buying XRP, and I can also see that a lot of new people who don't know what the hell is going on are also talking about it. So be careful with this cryptocurrency. Of course, I cannot tell you where this crypto is going short term, but there is not much money to be made after a cryptocurrency or any other asset already appreciated 600% in less than a year. If we look at the long term, we can see that the increase in wallets also sped up a lot after this period. And what was the reason behind this increase in new addresses holding XRP? There are a lot of news connected to the SEC investigation that was going on connected to the XRP. So this technology, even though the process ended in favor of XRP, they only had to pay a few million dollars fine. So this is nothing major. So there were a lot of positive news about XRP, but sadly XRP is a technology that nobody is really using. So even though they won this process, it's not anything that is going to change the fundamental value, the real value of the cryptocurrency. This is a technology that is not used a lot. This is more of a speculation, rise in price, and because of a lot of news, it just got very popular during this bull market. But sadly, this might lead to significant crashes in price later, as a lot of greedy, optimistic investors probably bought this coin using leverage. So as we could see on the Bitcoin, if we see a 70-80% drop in price on one of the main cryptocurrencies, we can see a similar price drop on XRP. And if you have leverage margin on your account, you will be wiped out and probably lose everything. And yeah, if we follow Warren Buffett, one of the best investors worldwide, rule number one is never to lose money. So it can be very dangerous to buy coins that have no real value, and this probably can lead to a loss. And if we lose 50% of our money, then to go back to the same level, we need to earn 100%. So it's very important not to lose money. And currently, if we look at this chart that represents the price, this line here, but also the emotion of the market participants, a lot of people are optimistic, enthusiastic, and the emotions are very positive, and markets tend to change from high positive emotions drastically to negative and to fear. So if we are currently seeing a lot of people very optimistic and greedy about the crypto market, probably in the future we'll see a reversal and a price drop. And remember that crashes, especially on crypto, are much faster than the way up. So be careful, because you can lose a lot in a very short period of time, and also it will be very difficult for you to make good decisions when everybody is panicking and you lose a lot of money in a very short term. So sadly, people are not following the basic fundamental rule of investing, that is buy low, sell high. They get optimistic after stocks inflate or after crypto goes up in price, they want to buy then. But when the price starts to drop, instead of buying when the price is low, they say, oh, the market's going nowhere, we better sell. Or they have leverage, and because the price drops, they are forced to close. And a mention that I would like to talk about is the AMP USD. So AMP is a cryptocurrency that currently rose around 30% from its low. So it's still cheap. It's one of the cryptocurrencies that is still cheap in this bullish market. So maybe potentially it will appreciate in value. But it also has good fundamentals. If you're interested in buying a crypto that is not only speculation but has real life use, you can see in the description of this video there is a link to my analysis and explanation of AMP, how it works, what it does, and why does it have real fundamental value. And as you can see, this is also a crypto that made a lot of money in the past in here. And in here, the price appreciated few 100%. I think this is around 400-300% upside. So a significant move. And currently, the price sits at still quite a low level. And we have this fundamental value that makes me secure and safe to hold this crypto for a long period of time. And the Flexa network that this crypto is connected to keeps on expanding. So there are new things added to this crypto to increase its value. Okay, so that's all for today. Thank you very much for listening to this podcast. And remember, buy low, sell high, and don't let the FOMO, the fear of missing out, and the optimism of others who already made their money make you buy crypto at the top, because if the price is high, probably in the long term it will drop. So remember, the most money is to be made when the price is low, and currently one of the cryptocurrencies with a low price still only after a 30% movement up from the bottom is up. So if you are looking into something that potentially has value and can appreciate in price significantly in the future, you might want to look into that. And as always, remember, this is just my opinion. This is not like financial advice, so be careful. Always do your own due diligence. Thank you very much, and I hope this was very informative for you. Have a great day and great life. See you next time.